You are now listening to the Lasting Legacy Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. The number 23 episode of the Lasting Legacy Podcast.
Jumpman.
Correct. Today's podcast is sponsored by Took It Fitness, a co-company of David Took It. Are you in the fitness industry and do you need beautiful shots? Call David Took It at Took It Fitness. Some kind of one of these numbers. Just call him, follow him on Instagram, and he'll get you taken care of real nice.
Don't call me. Just hit the link in my bio.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Don't call David, actually. Book it with him through Square or some other kind of website feature.
That's right.
So that's our sponsor today. We had a podcast scheduled, some not technical difficulties, some communication difficulties. And so we just decided we'll just shoot our Jumpman episode with just me and David, kind of just talking about whatever comes up. So
Yeah,
I guess we'll see who tunes into the podcast to listen to us.
which is great because I always tell the
doesn't?
guests. A lot of people don't know unless you've been on the show. A lot of the guests are scared to ramble, and so I always make sure I tell them, like, you know, people click on your episode not to listen to me and you talk, but to hear you talk. So go ahead and ramble. It's going to be okay. So it's going to be weird to ramble on this one, but
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely different. This is almost what I originally thought of the podcast at first,
yeah.
but it just kind of took a different shape.
No, for sure. I know we had talked about that too. You know, it is, you know, we don't deep dive into business sometimes, and it's more about the business owner and about them. And, you know, some people drop, you know, a lot of good gems on us, but I don't know. I guess it is tough to talk about business without bringing up numbers, and you're a numbers guy. So it's not weird for you to bring up numbers, but it's extremely weird for me to ask people, you know, like, oh, what was your earn and leave, you know?
How was your revenue looking?
Yeah. Was it looking good?
Yeah.
How was your tax note? You know, how did that go? You know?
People hate talking about their numbers.
I mean, well, speaking of taxes, you're just coming out of the trenches from tax season.
I am. Yeah, it feels great. I really haven't worked in 3 weeks.
That's really good.
Like, to be honest,
Yeah.
yeah. I just been chilling.
I do know you were swamped for sure, to say the least. Filed a lot of extensions, so I'm sure, you know, most of those are probably almost done.
I still have a lot of people on extension still, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, June's going to be a busy month. June and July. Pretty much my goal is by July, then I don't want to really have anything to do for the last half of the year.
That'd be nice.
Except just focus on getting new clients.
Yeah.
Honestly.
What's your push for getting new clients? What are you thinking that you're gonna do differently, or?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely going to double down on social media. I created like a little mini studio at my house.
Nice.
To create more content there, like reels and
I've been
stuff.
seeing the desk set up, so we should do a Cribs episode with that.
Of that one.
Yeah, I think it would be cool.
I'm down.
For a Tax Tuesday.
That would be cool. It's a cool little spot to shoot. Black wall, because black walls look great, I feel like.
Black walls are the vibe. Shout out to Chief Fitness. Shout out DOS Financial over here.
Correct. If you don't have a black wall, then you're not a social media king.
I'm definitely not a social media king. I don't have any walls. I broke all the walls down.
He's under the bridge.
Definitely under the bridge. Actually, some of my dopest shots are from under the bridge. So
I believe it.
Parking garage vibes. But so double down on social media.
Yeah, double down on social media. We're going to do the Rumble and the Rockies Expo.
Yeah.
Bring the podcast up there.
That's gonna be cool.
And then I'm also gonna have. When we're not doing the podcast, I'll be running the DOS Financial booth. And then when we are doing the podcast, I'll still have my wife up there, hopefully, is the plan.
Yeah.
To try to network and meet more people in the hair and beauty industry.
I agree.
Because I already work with a ton of people from there.
Yeah.
So, and then...
It's extremely lucrative for myself as well.
It's a cool
it's a dope industry.
Like, everyone in there is just vibes.
I mean, they're making good money. You know, they're generally pretty young, you know, so they're on social. So obviously that's perfect for me, and they probably don't know a lot about taxes, so that's perfect for you. you know?
That's true.
So I feel like I'm excited for it, man. It's something I've never been to. I think you've went before, right?
I spoke at, Aguilar's West out here had a little barber battle seminar thing, and I spoke at that.
Nice.
That was that was a while ago. That was like 2018.
Oh wow.
That has like the actual barber battle, but this they didn't have like wasn't the expo, the big
No, this is a
booth
big
and stuff
event.
like that. Yeah, it's definitely one of the bigger ones. The biggest one, I think, probably in the country just happened yesterday.
Oh, really?
And today is the Connecticut Barber Expo.
Really? I would have thought the Vegas one would be big.
Yeah, no, Connecticut. I think JR was telling me, like, the guy that put on the show, they told him, like, you can never do a Barber Expo in Connecticut. So that's why he pushed to make the Barber Expo in Connecticut the biggest one in the nation.
That's crazy. Holy crap.
So yeah, they have like Barber Grammys and like an award show. It's
That's
pretty
dope.
cool.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So at least there's something for that community, because like there's nothing for your community, and as far as I know, there's really nothing for my community either. Like I don't know why there's not more photo expos and stuff like that.
I feel like there should be.
I agree.
For you guys.
Test out lenses, test out bodies, lighting. I mean, that's one thing that's been crazy is the amount of different lighting techniques through light tubes and RGB and all that stuff. Like the days of having a flash and like are kind of like limiting at this point because of what people can do with LEDs and the CRI rating, which is the quality of light rating in these RGB LEDs. But I'm really surprised there's not more photography expos.
And imagine like how much money like these big companies could make off of like one cool big expo like that.
Absolutely.
So many people want to be into photography too.
Yeah. No, I feel like it would be pros. I if they did do it, I believe that they should have a pro day, a demo day for like consumers. Kind of like the Consumer Electronics Show.
The way the Barber does it, they have like seminars, so everyone could go to the seminars and learn. And then, all the booths set up. That'd be cool for kind of accommodate everybody.
Yeah.
Or you can have like 3 different, like beginner, moderate, advanced classes or something like that.
No, I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, there's some people who do classes like I did one. I think I talked about it on our very first episode. I did one with a fitness photographer, and I was there for 12 hours, and I swore it like propelled me 2 years in advance within one day. Just having that real world experience. So I think that's what the community needs personally, because I see it's like in a weird spot right now. It's like half the people are shooting film, the other half are shooting digital, trying to make it look like film, and then there's like some stragglers who are doing some really weird shit. But it is what it is. It's art.
Yeah, I was gonna say when we had Christian on, he said he kept saying something a couple of different times. He said by doing this, it shortened my learning curve. Curve. So I've been thinking of that. That's kind of what happens when you go to like these expos and you get to talk to people that are like real experts in their field. You shorten the learning curve.
Are there accounting and finance expos like that for you?
I remember there was one in 2019 that was in like New York or something, and then it got canceled because COVID for 2020 and 21.
Were you gonna go to that one?
I wasn't going to go,
no,
but I heard of it. I thought it'd be cool to go at some point. So, I don't know. I'm sure they probably are going to have something again. Yeah. But, honestly, I more than less would just want to go and write off my business trip to a cool city.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you at all. So, what things have changed with the business since our first episode? Because we're on episode 23 now. I know you mentioned that at the top, but... I never thought we'd make it this far, but like here we are.
6 months or something, right?
Yeah, it's something. I don't know. Whatever 23 divided by 4 is, that's like 4 months. Ish. Just shy of 4 months.
No, 16 4
8,
months. 6 months.
I just take pictures. Anyway.
It's half a year of podcasting,
that's wild. It truly doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like work, which is what I was afraid of. So, what things in your business have, I mean, you went into tax season. So we started this when we were slow because you're like, I want to, something to occupy my time. And then your time
got pretty occupied.
Yeah, it got really occupied with work.
I know. Yeah, I don't know. My wife has definitely been more involved in the business.
That helps.
So that's helped a lot. We have a remote
shout
bookkeeper.
Out Jennifer.
Yes, shout out Jennifer. We have a remote bookkeeper, Janessa. Nice. Shout out Janessa.
Shout out to her.
She's between the two of them, I don't really do bookkeeping anymore.
That's perfect. That's the goal. I know we had talked about that.
I have a handful of companies that I still bookkeep for, and some of those I only bookkeep because they're on site, so I actually have to go to their place.
There's a place in this building that you do, so that's cool.
And then, around Pueblo West. So it's pretty cool to get that off my plate, but also to just see that machine running very well now at this point. It's running way better and smoother than it's ever been.
That's good.
Just as me. So.
And this is your 5th year, or?
July 1st is my 6-year anniversary.
Okay. Nice, yeah. So I mean, that makes sense. I mean, you take the good, you learn from the bad, and you automate a lot of things. You know, like you were completely remote for a while. Mm-hmm. You weren't taking any in-person meetings. So I mean, I think that's a test to show that is possible.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it is for sure. I feel I've been in business for 6 years basically, but I just moved into like my own spot in November of 2020.
Okay.
So like a year and a half, almost 2 years. I really feel like the first 4 years, I felt like I was like in like graduate school learning or something. Yeah. I almost feel like I just started my business like 2 years ago, kind of.
No, for sure. I mean, you were in an office with other people who were doing what you were doing, but you worked for yourself, you know? So now it's like, I'm on my own, you know, like everyone who's here works for me, you know, as part of the business.
I was kind of following the mold of the other people in my office.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nice. I get to do my own thing now and do things that I want to do that I think make more sense. Yeah. And it's definitely been a lot of learning.
Sure, yeah.
It's been pretty cool.
No, that's awesome. I think.
What about you? I know you were kind of in slow season. You've been in slower season,
so
and now you're going to your business season.
It's crazy. So I think we started this November, December-ish, I believe, which textbook, like November is pretty busy. December, it really tails off. January wasn't, I mean, I got my schedule right here. January, I don't remember it being too busy. Let me scroll back. Actually, January was pretty busy. I had 5 days off in January. So, 6 days off if you count New Year's Day. But, it was pretty good. I did a little bit of traveling from what it looked like. Me and my girlfriend went to Denver. That was pretty awesome, actually. So February, it felt less busy, but I occupied myself. Andres from, Rocky Mountain Dent and Detail. He moved to Florida, so we were catching up on a lot of shoots. So I shot a lot of cars in February. March, there was a pretty big event that I had shot, and then there was spring break and stuff like that. But March, I would say, felt the slowest. April felt ungodly slow, but now that I'm looking back at it, it wasn't too terrible. But like you kind of plan for that. So like when you're killing it, 3 shoots a day in November, like it gets to be, you spend money quick because it's coming in quick. So I kind of knew that I'm coming onto the slow season, so I did put money away, and I think I dipped into that like reserve fund like one time, but like the next week that money was back, so it wasn't too bad. May has been really good. This last couple weeks have been really, really good. Headed into this week looking pretty solid. I've been I kind of made a weird transition unintentionally, so I don't know. We've had a few real estate people on, but I've been doing a lot of real estate like listing photos, which is interesting because I'm thinking these houses are staying on the market a little bit longer, so they're kind of doing the extra effort now, which I'm okay with. I've really enjoyed it, talking with the homeowners and kind of learning their story. And I've got in the last 2 weeks I've been not Lahana, where's that at? La Vida. I did one in Walsenburg, one in Rye, one in Springs yesterday. I have one in town tomorrow, actually, and then another one in town on Friday. But I would have never guessed that. Like,
is it with the same people?
No, 3 different agents.
Totally different, yeah.
3 different agents, yeah.
That's kind of cool once you get in, though, with like one agent or one team.
Yeah.
They'll kind of just ride with you.
Yeah, the one from La Vida, she was the owner of the like the entire real estate thing, and she like handles all that from the pass, like over La Vita Pass and everything, Walsenburg area. And I don't know what happened with her person, but man, she's the first house I did was a $1.5 million listing.
Damn.
It was sitting on 16 acres, and it was like a cabin. It was really nice. So actually, she said the next day it was a cash offer for asking price.
Really?
Yeah, which is so crazy.
I saw a thing that said 30% of houses sold last year were in cash.
I believe it. I just want to know where all this cash
cash
came from. Yeah.
There's a lot of cash. Well, like a lot of people, if you're moving, you're moving out of an expensive state. So a lot of times they just got so much money from
that sale. Yeah.
I mean, me personally, like inflation is high because there's a lot of cash. And there's also like low supply of things, but also there's a lot of cash.
Yeah.
It's like
interest
I feel
rates coming back up a little bit.
Yeah, interest rates were so low,
but historically still low.
Yeah, and when it was like super low to borrow money for anything, like money was just like getting thrown around like crazy.
Yeah,
absolutely. I feel like the rest of this year should be like the next 6 or 7 months, 8 months almost, like should just be like stack as much cash as you can get your hands on.
For sure.
Like, because I feel like everyone has money right now.
I agree.
I feel like your goal should be to get as much of that money as you can.
Absolutely. Just double down and just hold, just in case.
I mean, yeah, you can invest it or do whatever. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, just I feel like, all these businesses, all these big businesses are adjusting their rates for inflation.
Absolutely.
Because they're always the first one to correct for inflation. Businesses are, and then that trickles down to the consumer. So it's like, as business owners right now is the time to increase your rates to adjust for that inflation.
Just
because if you wait and then you start increasing your rates, people are gonna be like, what do you mean, why are you increasing your rates? But right now people are like, everybody's increasing your rates. It makes sense. Like, you got to eat too. So it's like, don't be scared to like don't starve yourself when Walmart is raising their rates on everything.
Yeah,
it's
nobody blinks. Nobody ever questions, when a big box store raises their rates.
Yeah.
They just go with it. We've been hitting up the local food truck union on Fridays, and that's kind of where I've noticed like prices have kind of gone up. Obviously, like they have sometimes a little more overhead. You're a mobile restaurant. That's not cheap at all. So
gas is like just gas alone,
and they're running their generators the entire time. So it's been interesting to like look at everybody's prices. There was one food truck that I like to go to, and it's like 3 tacos and a lemonade, and it's like $14. So I mean, is that normal? Like, to me, I thought it was a little high. They're amazing tacos, so I don't really care. But and I'm still there. I'll go again next Friday. But I was surprised. There's a pizza place over there, and pizza was $9. It's like handmade pizza. So I didn't think that was bad. So I mean, I guess it's not terrible right now, but I don't know. Yeah, everything has gone up for sure.
Oh yeah, like I don't really do the grocery shopping, but my wife went yesterday, and she told me, she was like, yeah, I can definitely feel the difference because we have the same amount to grocery shop. She's like, we're getting way less
for sure
money when we go grocery shopping. I told her, I was like, well, and I'm gonna raise my rates because I'm not
exactly.
I'm not gonna sacrifice my lifestyle to help natural grocers raise their rates and me
course,
not. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not gonna change my lifestyle. I guess.
For sure. Yeah.
I don't know if that's a shitty thing to say, but
I mean, it is
whatever.
what it is, honestly. I mean, it's kind of tough because your monthly is like reoccurring bookkeeping. And then most of your yearly salary comes from tax season.
Not really, actually.
Really?
No.
That's interesting.
Like most accounting firms, accounting firms like are maybe 70-30. Some of them are as high as like 90-10 split, and that bigger number is how much they get from tax revenue, right? But me, I'm really more like 50-50, honestly.
That's solid then.
So because there's a website that you can like sell your accounting firm on. It's like a Craigslist for accounting firms or whatever. So I go on there like once a month and just kind of look and see what firms are for sale, and it'll tell you how much money they make, gross revenue yearly, what their selling cost is, and then it tells you their breakdown of their income. a lot of them are higher income. That's also why I want to make my accounting firm like remote, because
100% remote.
Because the 2 accounting firms that were on there that I've seen that were doing over $1 million a year in revenue were both remote firms.
That's wild. I mean, at that point, you're not limiting yourself to an area, you know. So I mean, you can look at, you know, personal training, for example. If you have online personal training clients, you make way more than if you were in the gym. You know, once you set up your, you know, your website and stuff like that. But you're not limiting yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Your pool just became huge.
Yeah, I feel like accounting is such like a older career too. A lot of people are older. Yeah, they don't really want to do social. That's why I'm going to double down on it.
Yeah,
I mean,
you might as well.
If I can get 10,000 followers on Instagram or something, say like, if out of that 10,000 I have 100 people that convert into clients, like,
it's worth it.
That's $100,000 a year,
or
something, if not more. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, probably more a year actually. If they're yearly clients, I mean that's like $400,000 a year on 100 clients kind of thing.
So does that mean we're gonna see a Brad back on TikTok?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I wrote down like a list so that way I'm like, my plan is, because on Tuesdays and Wednesdays I'm usually home with Toby. So like during his nap time, I have a list of like, okay, this is all the content I need to create for the next week.
Nice.
Because ideally I want to do 2 reels a day, 1 Instagram post a day, 3 YouTube videos a week.
Good Lord.
So
yeah, that is doubling down from like 3 posts a week.
I know. Well,
you know,
I don't know if you noticed. I was doing 3 weekly Instagram feed posts.
Yeah.
I upped it to 6.
Oh yeah. I did notice that I've been seeing more frequent bangers that I've taken.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay. So like it would be, you know, David Took It Tax Tuesday Personal, and now it's David Took It Tax Tuesday Personal, David Took It Podcast Post Personal.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I guess we could talk about like how the podcast is doing as well.
Oh yeah.
You just pulled up what we made.
I don't want to. Should I tell them or?
I mean, you're a numbers guy. If anybody,
brag about it.
Yeah, no big deal.
So, Anchor is the only place we make any money.
Yeah.
On this podcast. Let's see, money tab, 84 cents. So
you heard it here, folks. 84 cents, right there. Boom.
Thanks. Yeah.
What color gumball do you want?
I know.
Yeah. No, I mean,
and you pay tax on it.
It's super interesting if we were to like really break down like what we make from the podcast with our own services.
Yeah.
Because that number is significantly higher. And you know, we enjoy it. We never did it for the money or anything like that. You know, I know for myself, I've worked with a few people for sure. And then other people have reached out because of the podcast, because they've watched the podcast and they're like, hey, you know, like, do you do X, Y, and Z? And usually I do. So they, you know, they've reached out. So, I mean, it's definitely been financially, it's been good from that aspect.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth it.
Could I rely on just the podcast? I mean, probably not.
No
but,
way.
you know,
not
a chance. But it's a nice little bump and bonus, and I enjoy doing it.
It's like, I mean, it's hard to grow, to like make money on any social. It's so hard. Just on YouTube's really the best place to make money on social.
It makes sense.
Generally, if from an AdSense revenue, they pay the most, like per view, et cetera, on YouTube. But you have to have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and
100,000 watch hours.
4,000 watch hours.
4,000 now.
1,000 subscribers, 400 watch hours. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Actually, I just lost my the AdSense option.
Did you?
Yeah, I just lost it on my personal account. I had made a couple videos that like blew up. Actually, we could talk about that. That's pretty interesting. A company in LA called Junkins Media reached out to me on a workbench video I did like 6 years ago. When I moved into my house, I built this wooden workbench and I vlogged it and kind of explained what I did. And this company reached out, and I pretty much essentially signed over like the rights to that video. I lost my AdSense anyway, and I wasn't even pulling a profit, but there was over 100,000 views on it on YouTube, and they're putting it on their their platform, and when people buy certain packages, like mine's part of like a homeowners building series. So if people buy that package, then I get revenue from that, or anytime they download or view my video, which is pretty interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I think it's set up right. I don't really know. They stopped calling me, so I'm assuming it's set up right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's something that's super interesting. But
that is crazy.
Yeah, who would have thought? Like, I just used one of my small cameras when I first got it, and I was like, you know what, I want to use it, and made a decent video apparently.
Yeah, you're always like one post away from
That's it. Yeah.
From like getting a ton of followers.
Mm-hmm. You never know what's gonna pop. Like I do really want to double down on Reels. I keep saying that. So now the new lens we've used for the podcast, I just bought it, so it's wide enough I can vlog on now. So I'm hoping to do more content like that, because before I'd have to like set the camera up across the room and it looked good, but like I wasn't taking advantage of the gear that I have. But with this lens, I should be able to take advantage of that a lot more easily.
Yeah, Reels are the play.
Absolutely, that's the only way you can hit your people who don't follow you.
Yeah.
I feel like hashtags aren't working. They haven't been. I guess we can go into that too. Instagram just put out an update on the aspect ratio of their photos. When Instagram first started, they were square photos, and then now they're stretched out a little bit. Well, now they're looking at a 16:9 aspect ratio, which is essentially 1080x1920 vertically or sideways. So one post is going to take up more room on the screen. What does that mean for everybody else? Well, you can already see if you've been posting on Instagram, like my watermark is on the very bottom. It's been getting cut off. So you have a few more steps if you want to actually move that post. But yeah, I don't know. There's some weird stuff going on with Instagram again.
Yeah, the Reels have been posting in that new format, and that's why they're switching it.
Yeah,
because it takes up more of your phone screen, is what I was reading.
It makes sense.
Like you look when you're looking at a photo, it'll take up like your whole screen. Yeah, like you almost won't even see who posted it or like the caption. Yeah. They're kind of like copying TikTok basically in that sense.
I'm not a huge fan of it from like a photography standpoint, because I shoot in a 4:5 aspect ratio and reduce that down to a 4:3 when I deliver to clients, because it's really close if you print it. Like if you print to a 4:8, like it's not going to cut too much off the top or the bottom, so it makes life easier. So I just export in one format. But now that they're allowing for super long photos, I'm hoping it's a true 4:3 now, which would make my life a lot easier, because that's how it was intended and that's how I shot it, Yeah. So that's been interesting. But yeah, I do want to double down on Reels. We do want to attempt going live, because it's just a little easier.
It's huge for the algorithm too. It's going live.
Yeah.
Like,
by the way, if you guys watched our Squawk Coffee live and you said that you couldn't hear us, I just bought a new cord. So the new live, you should be able to hear us. Yeah. So that's being delivered, I believe, Tuesday. So that'll be exciting to kind of mess around with and going live.
I'm glad that you couldn't hear it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a good way to ease into going live.
That's true. No, for sure.
There's no like, oh no, like what if I say something wrong or I do this wrong or something? Yeah, I was like, well, no one can even hear us anyway.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Just click in and see what they.
I mean, honestly, we don't edit too much out of our
we don't edit anything. I mean.
And if somebody does say something crazy, well, you should have caught it on the live, it entices people. But
I mean, we've never like edited out like, oh, don't say that. I don't. We've only had to edit because of like technical errors or like really long weird pauses. Yeah, or something.
I did take a weird pause out. The intro to Squawk was chopped because for some reason it was just weird. So I chopped it up a little bit. Yeah, because it was like, that felt weird.
It was weird. I was like a little nervous.
Yeah, you're not in your element. Like, even moving the table made me a little nervous here, which is so weird. But so definitely want to double down on going live. for, you know, just anything really. Like at this point, I just want to go live while I'm editing photos, you know, like you see people on TikTok going live when they're working at Amazon. Like,
yeah, I didn't know you have to have I think you have to have 1,000 followers to go live on TikTok.
We got it, baby.
Do you?
Yeah, we got it. I think I'm at 1.2 and I don't post, but it was one video. It was a duet of this dude, like just talking all crazy. They muted the sound and everything on it, but it did 1.4 million.
Yeah.
And I got a ton of followers from it, a shit ton of likes. I think I'm at like 75K likes.
Isn't that weird? People would just follow you because you
made one funny video?
You laughed
dude,
at someone
and I don't
making
even,
a video.
dude, yeah. Like that's truly what it was. But I don't even, when I search TikTok, like the algorithm knows, but usually I don't do my feed. The people I follow, I always do the For You page.
Yeah, me too.
And then, you know, from there, then I'll kind of deep dive. But I very rarely ever, you know, unless it's like content I really want to consume. Like I follow a few real estate photographers who are, you know, talking about certain trends, and like I get ideas from that. But like if it's like funny accounts, I usually don't follow them because they're doing the same thing over and over again with the same sound, waiting for it to pop. So I don't really care to see that, you know. So I usually go to somebody's profile, scroll through, you know, go to the bottom, watch it, and then like I go away.
Yeah, some people just like, okay, I'll follow you.
Yeah,
like
so
one
weird.
video.
Yeah, I don't.
It's really weird. I
get it.
don't think I have. I think I have like only 400 on TikTok, maybe.
I mean, which is solid because you built that literally from zero.
Yeah,
you know?
I have 7,300 likes. Oh, I posted I posted a random video actually on TikTok yesterday. That's not. I just made it on TikTok. And I didn't want to post it.
Let's see if the algorithm's right.
But
let's see if we go to following. If it's Brad. Nope. SoFlow out of Pro.
Dang.
Shout out Andres. Next one. I don't know.
Nope.
Oh, Boudoir Photographer.
It's been so long since I posted.
Oh, Kenny. There's Kenny G. Have you seen this video?
Oh,
with
speaking of video,
filthy
real estate photography. He shot like a dope, like
massive ass house,
1.7 million house in town. I think
he did that
actually video, didn't he?
So that was part of the reason why I did end up doubling down and getting this lens. Was the lens I was using for real estate wasn't wide enough. It was 28 millimeters, and he said he had wanted me to shoot the photos for it. And I was like, yeah, dude, I got you. You know, whatever. He was in town, and I was like, yeah, you know, I'm not doing anything right now. Let's shoot it. And he's like, all right, cool. Well, the lens that, like I said, the lens that I was going to use wasn't wide enough, so it wouldn't make the house look big enough. It was already massive anyway. I think it would have been okay. But he said 17 millimeters or, you know, at the very minimum. So now we have a 17 millimeter lens. So technically I lost money because I didn't have a lens. So, it justified my purchase, you know. And then all the other real estate stuff. Yeah, now I have it, and, you know, we're good to go.
Yeah, that house looked pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean anything Kenny gets involved in is usually pretty crazy. I don't know how it happens, but
I wish he would do. He should do media for his roller hockey.
Oh yeah. That would be super cool. I'm surprised they don't. I mean,
just drop some.
Honestly,
GoPros
like I get it
skates.
because I don't. You know, I think of all the cool photos I could have of me playing pickleball and all the dope pickleball photos I could take, but I think it would take away from why I started playing.
To get away
from all of this. I don't, you know, like I put my phone on do not disturb. It's just me, you know, in the court doing my thing, you know, but I guess we can talk about that. Yeah, like pickleball is really blowing up in town and in the world. We were just talking about that. Locally, they just lined another court on the south side by Minnequaw Lake, I believe. So now there's 2 more dedicated courts there, and then the city approved building of dedicated pickleball courts at Mineral Palace Park. So
are they doing it where the tennis courts were?
Yeah,
I they're
going to be doing
those
that.
Out.
Yeah, so I don't know what the ETA on that is, but you know, pickleball is growing. So if you don't know, now you know.
Yeah, it's so
Pick
weird.
up a paddle.
There's one guy I follow on Instagram. Went to go play pickleball a couple days ago.
It's crazy.
Like, what the hell?
David Dobrik just posted. David Dobrik is a big tennis player, YouTube guy, but he just posted them playing pickleball.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a fun
on his story.
sport.
Like it's dope.
Fun.
They were getting it too.
I want to start playing again too now that it's kind of summertime. I have a little more free time.
No, for sure.
Because I have a nice paddle. And honestly, I was playing pretty good. Like
you're definitely starting to get the hang of it. The transition from racquetball is a little tough. You know, you go from hitting the ball 2 inches off the ground to getting it over, you know, like a 3.5 foot net. You know, so it's fun, man. great exercise. You know, I've been averaging anywhere from 800 to 1,000 calories burned per like outing that I go.
Yeah.
According to the watch.
Yeah, I want to.
Actually, they have a dedicated pickleball workout on
Oh, really?
the Apple Watch. Yeah, so that's kind of nice.
I want to go play outside.
It's a game changer, man.
Sounds so nice.
That wind is definitely a factor.
Yeah, I love working out in the sun, like being out in the sun.
Yeah.
Like if I go running, I love to go running, and it's like 1 p.m. It's like 95 degrees.
You're a monster.
You know, like you don't run nearly as far as you would like if you went at 7 or 7:30. But I don't know, the sun just like gives me so much energy.
That vitamin
Feels
D.
good. Yeah.
That vitamin D is just
I
hitting.
can feel it. I can feel it in me.
No,
yeah, I don't know why, but I just love it.
No, that's awesome. Want to talk about kind of the state of Twitter, Elon Musk, since we never really do these, so we're like kind of catching up on trending events as well.
True.
What's your opinion on Twitter and Elon?
I don't know. Last I heard that it was like on pause now or something.
Oh, interesting. I haven't even seen
But
that. So
I don't know. I do. My favorite part about that story is that he bought it for $54.20 per share just to make it a meme because it ends in 420.
that is so funny. And didn't he take Tesla at public at 420 a share?
Something probably.
Yeah, I believe it was something like that. I did actually. When all that was going on, of course, the algorithm and everybody searching for his name, the Netflix SpaceX documentary.
I didn't know it would happen.
Dude, yeah, it was really good, and it shows, you know, I think the most pivotal part of the documentary was when SpaceX was, you know, they were the only company launching rockets and failing, and all the, like, Jeff Bezos was in on the space race too. I forgot what that company was called, but they hadn't launched a single rocket by the time SpaceX had did 11 failed attempts.
Damn.
And he's like, we learn from every single failed attempt, and like it is what it is, and we're gonna make sure we have it good before we send somebody up there. Well, when they were talking about NASA closing and the privatization of space exploration and stuff, like Neil Armstrong and Lee, what the heck's his name? Buzz Aldrin. They were like at Congress. You see it on like a C-SPAN interview, and they were saying like that's terrible for the space industry. It's dumb that these billionaires are getting involved and all this other stuff. And like Elon did an interview with somebody and was like crying, saying like, you know, that's pretty much your childhood heroes, you know, slapping you in the face saying you can't do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, watch me do it, you know. So that was cool to see him overcome that and 2 successful space missions, you know, and that's pretty dope.
Yeah, well, fuck Neil Armstrong.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, you know, this is the only guy who allegedly walked on the moon. But
what a little bitch, huh?
Yeah, right.
Was he all sad about it?
And shit.
Like, who
yeah,
cares?
he was big sad about it too.
Like, yeah, I don't know why he cares. Why would it be bad?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't understand.
Unless the moon landing didn't actually happen.
That's
weird.
Yeah. I don't want him to find out.
Yeah, right.
Or something. But it's like, dude, like, his rockets land themselves. Like,
yeah.
Why is it bad?
Actually, there was an interesting graph that I think you would find interesting. The most expensive part of space exploration is when the booster, like rebuilding boosters. So now that the booster detaches and lands itself, like literally like pinpoint accuracy, it brought the price down. It was like $4 million to go to space, and it brought it down to like $14,000.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
well,
because of that.
You could just keep using them.
The fuselage like can come back. So I guess that was like a big thing. But yeah, they
Instead
showed
of
like
just-
a line graph of it going down and everything.
Instead of just dumping them in the ocean.
Yeah,
Like,
which
I'm sure that's great.
weird. Yeah,
Thanks a lot.
That's so weird.
Thanks a lot, NASA and Neil Armstrong.
Right, just littering in the ocean.
Polluting the ocean.
Yeah, fuck them turtles, right? Anyway, but yeah, so I mean, I guess what would would you be happy, or would you jump to Twitter?
I don't really care.
No,
honestly.
you don't really care. I mean,
I
for
don't really
me,
get it.
like if you're not a Twitter person, you're not a Twitter person.
Yeah.
I feel like if you had an influx of people moving to Twitter, it would ruin the community that's there. But right now, it's like you could be like very vulnerable on there. You can be naked on there if you want to. Like, it truly doesn't matter. And so as long as he doesn't mess up with the core functionality of Twitter, I think that would be solid, which it sounds like he wants freedom of speech. Like, all right, cool, let's see, you know.
Yeah.
But OnlyFans is also owned by Twitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's very interesting.
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. People are like, oh, freedom of speech, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's like, okay, but freedom of speech is cool, I guess.
Yeah.
But also, should you just let people say shit that blatantly false and wrong to trick other dumb people. Like,
that's true too.
If Hitler had a Twitter, should we let Hitler be on Twitter? Like,
that's a good question,
right?
Yeah,
like, what if like the thing with social media and all this stuff is it's like it's so targeted and there's no need to fact check anything. No. So like politicians can get on Facebook and they can target like a certain demographic. Like we're gonna push $50,000 and push this 100% false narrative of someone else.
Yeah, our competitor.
And we know that our demographic will be like, oh, that's true. I saw it on Facebook. You know what I mean?
No, of course.
So it's very interesting. And also, freedom of speech is not a private company thing. Like, you don't have to have freedom of speech on Twitter because it's not the government. You know what I mean?
No, for sure, yeah.
I mean, also, that being said, like, I don't know shit about Twitter. Like, if you're just buying this all because Donald Trump got blocked, like, that's pretty extreme. I feel like, I honestly feel like he's buying Twitter because, like, he'd rather buy something than pay it in taxes. That's what I think.
No, that makes sense. Like,
it's just like, well, cool. Now you got a $44 billion company that has expenses and everything that you can
for sure,
invest in. Otherwise, he has to cash out these Tesla stock options and just pay. I mean, I think his tax bill was like $7 billion last year.
That's crazy.
Something insane, you know?
What did he say? He said he paid the highest tax bill in U.S. history.
Oh, yeah, by far. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Because he had to cash in these Tesla stocks or else he would lose them.
Interesting.
Something like that. So he had to do it. He he made a ton of money. You know what I mean? I feel like that's why he bought Twitter, really.
It's just a write-off. Yeah.
That's what I think. But
yeah.
I don't know.
It keeps his name fresh in people's mouths for whatever he decides to do.
Yeah, I don't know why Tesla stock is just shit in the bed now, though. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true.
Thanks a lot, Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of shit's hitting the pooper.
If I learned anything though, if Elon Musk tweets or says something, I should follow him just for like financial advice because
anything he touches,
Twitter's share was like $24 something, $30 ish. And then he started talking about buying it and all this shit. It was like $50 a share. Like,
yeah,
I was like, damn,
for sure. That's why people were telling him to tweet at Dogecoin and shit like that when the Doge pandemic was going on. I definitely sold, but
how's your crypto doing?
I don't want to talk about it. No, I'm just kidding. So real talk, the crypto is doing terrible. This time last year. For some weird reason, it was a $600 investment in 2000. I would say like 6 or 7 years ago. So like maybe 2018, whatever. I don't think that's 6 or 7 years ago, but I placed a $600 bet is how I put it. $600 investment in ADA Cardano from a recommendation from a friend. And it went from 8 cents to 52 cents. So that was already an increase, like right off the rip, like huge. 2 weeks later, jump. Right? It was projected to hit $5, and that's what they were talking about like 5 years ago. It was from the people who created Ethereum. Cool. Sounds good to me. Didn't look at it. You know, I checked it all the time when I first invested. Didn't look at it for like 4 years. Pandemic hits, and everyone's talking about crypto prices going through the roof. So I log into my trusty Binance account, and it was at $46,000
on $600
on a $600 investment. Right? It was sitting fat. So I was like, oh man, you know, this is cool. Like I even pulled just to see what it would do. I pulled $1,300 out. I had to fix one of my 350Z when I wrecked it. So I pulled that money out just to see. And it was still I made that money back in a few days. But then I checked it again. Let's look at it today. Oh, wow. It even went up from the first time we looked at it. We're sitting at $8,000 now.
Hey.
3 days ago, it was at $6,000. So I don't know if it's a good time to buy in again since it seems like it's going back up. I mean, I don't even know what the share of Cardano is right now. But yeah, let me see here. It should be in my favorites.
Bitcoin's under 30 grand now.
Under 30?
Mm-hmm. What was it? 29.
When it was at its highest, what was
61 something, like over 60 grand for one Bitcoin.
Interesting. Let's see here. Yeah, ADA Cardano is sitting at 56 cents a coin.
Dang.
Yeah. So, like I said, we've seen it go up, but essentially, this is Yeah. I mean, it was an interesting investment. So I don't know what to do with it now. You know, like let's say it does go to like 46,000 tomorrow. What do I do with it? You know,
Pull it.
I mean, I keep holding it, but like, at what point do I say, okay, like,
My thing with crypto is like, when are you gonna ever use Cardano to buy something?
when I'm buying drugs on the dark web?
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, I mean,
Prostitutes or
honestly,
something.
like, that's it. But I feel like still, like, people who, like, on their website say, oh, we accept Bitcoin. Like, I'm not going to convert my Cardano back to Ethereum to buy a
Yeah.
Bitcoin to
Yeah.
freaking pay for something.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, would you have to pay taxes on that?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I mean, you should. I don't
sounds
know.
terrible.
Will you? I don't know. Every time you transfer, people are like, for one think like, oh, cryptocurrency, the government doesn't know anything.
That's
The
why I got
government-
into it. I didn't want them to touch it.
Back then they
Yeah.
didn't. Now they do. Like
Yeah.
Coinbase, Cash App, anyone, all those people,
Yeah.
they have to send all that information to the IRS. They have all your information. They keep track of it all.
No, for sure.
And then it's not like if you buy Bitcoin and then sell it and you make money on it, then
That's
you
a taxable
pay tax
event,
on
yeah.
it. But what's tricky is like people will buy Bitcoin and then they're like, oh, I'm going to transfer my Bitcoin to Ethereum. That's a taxable event also.
Yeah.
So it's very complicated to track that. I have to have a special crypto tax program to do it because it's so
Interesting.
so much work
Wow.
to enter every single transaction. And then these people,
Assuming people are day trading crypto.
basically, yeah, and a lot of people do it way more frequently.
Yeah, well,
Don't
you
brag.
don't have to have any money in your portfolio to day trade crypto. You can buy it, pump and dump all day if you want to, versus like in regular stocks, you have to have X amount in your portfolio and stuff like that in order to day trade. To make I think it's 2 moves in 24 hours on the same stock.
And yeah, with crypto, people will be like transferring it all the time, and every time you transfer it, or you convert half of it, and then it's like, okay, you have to figure out what that half converted into U.S. dollars was versus what it's worth, and like
That's confusing.
yeah, it's confusing. I don't know what the government will do because right now they send that information, but it's just like a giant sheet of stuff. I think Coinbase or one of them actually put together like a legitimate tax
Like a
form to
W-9.
show it that made it a lot easier.
I believe so, because it keeps telling me to fill out my tax form, and I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
never.
that
yeah.
is true. Yeah, so
It'll be interesting to see where that's at in a year, because I mean, we talked about it one time that the IRS was hiring a bunch of agents for that, crypto specific.
yeah, they want to double the IRS wants to double their team or whatever, their employees.
The workforce.
Yeah, and because on your tax return, it's asked you for like 2 or 3 years specifically. Did you trade, invest, sell anything with crypto, with digital currency? And the reason they're doing that is because now they can flag all the taxes that say they didn't and cross-reference that with what Coinbase is sending them. So if your name pops up on both lists, they know you're lying.
True.
You know what I mean? So it's going to be easier to. That's kind of how they're gonna.
It's a good thing I haven't moved crypto in 3 years, huh?
I was gonna say, well, that's the thing. If you buy it and you don't sell it, like there's nothing to report.
Yeah.
It's
But then when
fine.
I do sell it, like,
Then
let's say
there's
it
something
does,
to report.
like in my head, like I set a firm number at when I'd pull it, which is kind of scary too. But if it hits that number and I pull it, like, what's the tax rate on like 100 grand?
It depends on how much your other income is too.
Yeah.
Yeah, long-term capital gains are better though. You're probably most people are probably going to be at 15%, but it is an option to be at 0%. But at 100
not
grand,
claiming it?
at 100 grand, no.
Yeah.
If your income's under I think 40ish something, I don't know the exact number, but yeah, your long-term capital gains will be 0.
Nice.
But yours
Well,
would be 15. So like if you pull 100 grand out, it's pretty much all income. So you'd pay 15 grand in taxes, but you still have 85 grand on
Yeah, no,
$600
exactly,
or whatever.
That's dope. Sweet. I mean, you never know. So we're on
It's
the
true.
up and up. Invest in ADA. Help your boy out.
Pump it.
Right. Which anymore, 100 grand. I mean, 100 grand cash would be sweet, but like 100 grand a year isn't,
It's
not what I thought it was.
I was going to say.
It's comfortable. It's very comfortable.
Yeah, it is kind of funny too. I was talking to someone else about it, and they're like, 75 grand a year really isn't that much money. Like, if you're making 75 grand a year, like, you don't have to worry about the basic stuff, but you also don't have a lot of extra money to invest, to enjoy life.
Standard middle of the road, middle class, and they get shit on the most, honestly.
That's in Pueblo.
Yeah.
If you make $75,000 in a coastal city or in Denver,
forget it.
You're lower middle class.
No, for sure.
You're barely above the poverty line there. Yeah. There's one guy, Brad Lee, on Instagram that I follow. Mm-hmm. He was like, "You're not really living until you make $20,000 a month." He's like, at $20,000 a month.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's like at $20,000 a month. That's when like you really have like fuck you money. Because
I believe that.
You're like, okay, something little comes up here, that's fine. I can pay it off. I don't have to worry about it,
We're chilling.
I mean, at $100,000 a year, you could get hit with like a $5,000 medical bill. I mean, that's 5% of your yearly income. That's a decent chunk, you know. If you're making 20 racks a month,
that's different. Yeah, it's pennies in the barrel.
You're feeling a lot better. Yeah,
that's 25% of your monthly income.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's
it's probably all right. But
man, that's $250,000 a year.
Yeah, me and a friend were talking. That's what $250,000 is a year. Yeah,
it's that's wild. It's 240. So.
I mean, that puts into perspective how much $1 million a year is.
Oh yeah,
it's very interesting.
$83,000 a month, I think.
Oh my God, couldn't even imagine that. That's terrifying to even think of. As your rates, I mean, the money that you bring in goes up. Your hobbies get more expensive.
Yeah.
Your lifestyle gets more expensive. And generally. I feel like no matter where you're at, like it feels the same. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, instead of crying in my Nissan, I'm crying in my Maserati,
Yeah. You get to a point where money doesn't buy you more happiness.
No, yeah. But, what was it, Anthony? Oh, no, it was Jason, the Jason podcast, where he said his business moves are to buy him time.
Yeah.
Instead of money, So that's huge. That one has terrible views, but if you really want to get inspired,
I don't know why.
Check out the Jason podcast.
That's the worst video. No one anyone's watched.
That was the one that me and Brad were probably the most pumped about in a while.
That was definitely one of the few where like I think about it to this day. I think it was very relevant to me too about growing,
Yeah.
Because he said when he was talking about employees, he's like, you can't be scared don't be scared to be big. Mm-hmm. And he also said when it comes to employees, like they're gonna make mistakes. You can't hire people and expect them to not make mistakes.
Yeah,
you have to hire people, know they're gonna make mistakes, and be the guy willing to correct those mistakes and help them grow from that. And like that's huge. You know
absolutely.
What I mean?
I mean, I'm not to that point yet. But I could see that being super valuable. Brad's been on an employee kick, so that's why every podcast has been talking about employees.
That's because I'm so fucking busy.
I really need some help around here.
I've seen how the bookkeeping goes, I've seen how I've been able to grow that, the bookkeeping side of it, and I'm a lot more hands off on it, and I just want to be able to do that, with taxes. I want to find someone who's very competent in filing taxes to where they wouldn't be like, okay, I did it, I filed it. Like, I would review all of the tax returns, but it would be great to find someone young that's really, excited about this field. Because it's a really great field for, I love it. I love numbers. To find someone that is young, motivated, loves numbers,
Have you thought about, going to the college and seeing about being a guest speaker there, since they love you and they gave you a cutout of your whole ass body? I think that'd be cool to pick and choose. Some barbers do that. They go and go to the new barber school, beauty school stuff. They'll teach a seminar and then they'll kind of see who's in there and be like, "Yo, hit me up when you graduate."
I never thought of doing it like that. I don't know that
that'd be great content for us as well.
I do want to. I've put job listings at both CSU Pueblo and PCC. That didn't really do me anything.
Yeah.
But I was thinking of actually going to Hassan School of Business in fall semester and trying to have a meeting with whoever runs the accounting department there.
Yeah, who do you...
And let them know.
Can you do... I'm sure there's rules against it, of course.
No, I don't... No. I mean, no, Alicia, she was one of our first guests. Yeah. She graduated with an accounting degree with me, and she got a internship with the local accounting firm that
for CSU Pueblo.
And the guy came in and talked to our class and stuff, and he was friends with the professor, and so she got the recommendation.
Nice.
And so
that would be huge.
I'll see if I can find something like that.
That might be the move for sure, especially to find somebody young. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
You know, somebody you vibe with, somebody who would, you know, almost be a special guest on the like social media too, you know, like, but more importantly to file taxes, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, I just want someone that has a good knowledge of accounting that I can kind of like
count on,
bounce stuff on, and something I don't have to like really explain everything to. But at the same time, they don't teach you shit in college about taxes.
For sure, yeah.
Even as an accounting, they don't teach you about taxes. They teach you about how to be an accountant for a Fortune 500 company.
It's terrible.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'd still probably teach them a lot, but at least they have like the very basics. Like they know how a balance sheet works or something. Like that's kind of the main thing. So,
what are some of your goals for the next 23 episodes? With you, with the podcast, and then like you personally, like the next time we do one of these, I think we had talked about like the 52, 53 episode, the 1 year, the 1 year one. So what's your goal that you want to set now that hopefully you obtain?
Basically, be like the end of the year, huh?
I think so, yeah, because we're about midway through now. That's crazy.
I don't know. I mean, I have monetary goals in place.
No,
but
for sure.
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, like my number one goal is just to get healthier, lose weight, and
what's your weight right
happier.
Now? So I can hold you accountable.
Right now, like 280-ish.
Okay.
I fluctuate in between there.
Okay.
So yeah, on my vision board, I wanted to be at 220, I think.
Okay.
Which
we'll mark this down.
Legitly, is feasible to do.
Most definitely, 2 pounds a week.
Yeah.
When you really break it down like that.
Yeah, and like how easy is that? You know what I mean? That's like eating healthy 5 days.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can lose
like
2 pounds.
80-20.
Yeah,
I believe it.
What about you?
So that'll be December. So my goal is by the next time we do this, I'll have a 30 by 40 pole barn built for a shooting studio.
Oh yeah,
at an undisclosed location. So that's kind of my goal. I've done all the research. I have it in place, you know, just pending deposit at this point and materials and stuff like that. But I think I'm ready to make that next jump and, you know, start doing my own, you know, seminars and stuff like that. I've like bounced it off random people. Like a lot of photographers will reach out and ask me questions and stuff, and I let them know like, hey, you know, like I'm thinking about, you know, doing an in-person seminar, whether it's like Lightroom basics and workflow, or using your camera basics and like what does like the different lenses do and stuff like that. So I think I really want to double down and slide into education more, and obviously have like a dope creator space that other people can rent from me, and I can shoot in there as well. So that's like my big goal for sure. Yeah. My secondary goal would be double down on real estate more, because it is very lucrative, it's very profitable, and I enjoy it. It's just something totally different. So whether that's real estate video and photo, drone work, stuff like that, I think that's the move. So depending on where the housing market goes, that's like kind of dependent, but I think with the latest trends, I think I should be all right with doing that.
Yeah, I was going to say, even if the housing market goes down, that probably benefits you, actually.
Yeah, it does, yeah. If houses aren't moving as fast, then higher quality listings and stuff like that, you know, they start doing more.
People actually look at it.
Yeah, exactly. So I think those are my 2 big goals. And then, of course, like continuing to play pickleball. I want to play in my first pickleball tournament soon, because 'tis the season for that. So see where I stand. Not really with singles. I kind of want to do doubles, mixed doubles. But so I guess finding a pickleball partner at that point, a solid female and a solid male, would be really good.
Yeah, I love playing racquetball tournaments.
So yeah,
I've been in the shittiest league. It's still fun.
Yeah,
I don't know how pickleball is, but
I have no idea. I haven't done it. It's my New Year's resolution, so I really want to see how that goes. My overall goal, I would love to be a pro pickleball player, but that's crazy. I think the way I play is very interesting compared to a lot of people. So I'm hoping that I can really double down on that and, you know, take things to the next level.
Yeah, I like playing those tournaments is fun. Like racquetball tournament, if you're playing in the really bottom class, most people are just like, we're just here to have fun.
No, for sure.
You know what I mean? As you get up, it gets more competitive and more serious.
It's very crazy.
I bet pickleball is the same way.
Pickleball
is super damn popular too, so it's like might as well.
Yeah, I believe probably after Memorial Day, there's probably a tournament every weekend somewhere.
Oh, really?
You know, local tournaments, but I do want to play like whatever, like the U.S. pickleball association
Like
tournament is, and I want to see where I'm at, like ranked and stuff like that. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be pretty fun.
But these tennis players and ping pong players are really good, so we'll see.
Pickleball's like a mash of so many different sports.
Yeah, the ping pong players are definitely the best. Jason was a ping pong player, and he's really good. So I'm hoping that'll be my men's double partner. He's got the vid right now, so hopefully next week he should be all right. So
I've been just
ducking and
snorting
dodging.
vitamin C.
Ooh. Nice.
Yeah.
I came in here and he was shaking, lighting up an emergency pack off of a spoon. I don't know what he was doing. That was weird.
Yeah, no, I mean, I put it in
track
my...
mark. Oh, no, there's a track mark.
I put it in my toes.
In my toes.
Oh, I know, dude. I was yesterday. I was like, what a stupid place to get like a little pimple at.
Right.
It was like a freaking heroin addict at Target. I was like, oh, what the hell?
At Target?
Yeah.
They're like, no, sir, you can't go in the bathroom.
Yeah. Those are customers only.
Right. You're like, I just bought a bunch of shit.
I know.
I spent $100 and there's like two things in the cart.
All the time. Fucking
Dang.
Target's dangerous.
Target's very dangerous. I heard they put Sephora in some of the closet or some of the Targets.
They put Sephora at Kohl's.
In Kohl's too? Interesting.
Here in Pueblo.
Oh, I did not know about here in Pueblo.
Oh, yeah. Random story. Me and Jennifer were at Ulta.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I don't know, just shopping, hanging out. And so we're driving away. She's like, oh, do you want to go to Kohl's too? And I was like, yeah, sure. I like Kohl's. I like Adidas, so I always go. Mm-hmm. And we pull up, and yeah, they have a big old Sephora.
I think I was there when they were rebuilding it.
Yeah, they like took out the whole jewelry section basically.
Yeah, which
and put
is
a
terrible.
Sephora in.
Honestly, that was the spot. If you wanted gold jewelry,
it wasn't bad.
It was a good deal.
That's where I got my watch from.
Yeah.
One of my watches.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no,
the
that's
second
awesome.
one. But yeah, like we pull up, she's like, oh my gosh, they put a Sephora in here. That's crazy.
I mean,
and I looked at her and I was like, this is bullshit. I was like, you knew this was here. And she just started laughing.
She knew.
Yeah, she knew.
So if that tells you anything about the state of where JCPenney stands, that's a good choice for sure. That good move on Sephora.
How does Pueblo have two Sephoras and an Ulta, but we don't even have a passport service or a pharmacy that opens past 9 p.m.? It's insane.
That's totally crazy. I don't get it either.
As a father with a son who can get sick at any time, the pharmacy situation in this town is a
horrendous.
Fucking disgrace.
Yeah.
Like, how do you have a Pueblo County is 180,000 people, and if you need to get a prescription on the weekends past like 6 or on the weekdays past 9,
wait till Monday.
You're just fucked. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You'd have to drive up to Springs to get medicine.
That's wild.
Yesterday we cut it close because we went to the urgent care and got the prescription at like 5:15, and the Walmart closes at 6. So I just went straight there.
Yeah.
And they're like, we just got this in like 2 minutes ago. Like, we'll go make it. I was like, cool, thank you.
No, that's insane. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things you wouldn't know unless you need it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean? Which could be too late. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
I was like, what the fuck, man?
Damn. Well, I think this was a nice change of pace for the episode. So
yeah.
I'm pretty pumped.
I actually think it's kind of a good time to do this episode, so it worked out good. It's kind of like mid-year.
Yeah. You're coming out of busy season. I'm going into mine, so I think it'll be really good.
Yeah.
But, if we can get Brad to make some reels, that would be super awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we got some plans set in place for the reels and get caught up and stuff like that.
I'm taking my Mac home.
Take your Mac home, damn it.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah, she deserves to be home.
I agree. Take baby home. Does she have a name?
Nope.
Mackenzie.
There you go. No, I can't do that, Jeffrey. Like, who the fuck is Mackenzie?
That's what I'm saying. You already have an Alexa, so
right.
But this has been the Lasting Legacy Podcast. Check us out wherever you get your podcasts. Good night.
Bam.